The Israelites, led by King David, besieged and conquered the Canaanite city of Jerusalem, then called Jebus. King David then brought the Ark of the Covenant, which held the 10 Commandments given to the prophet Moses. It represented God's presence among his people. The king desired to build a temple for the Lord so that the Lord might dwell in a house rather than in a tent. 2 Samuel, chapter 7, verse 2. He spoke to prophet Nathan about this idea. That night, God spoke to Nathan, telling him to inform David that he would not build a temple but his son Solomon would, because David has blood on his hands. Solomon received detailed plans for the temple, which were believed to be given by God to his father. These designs included specifications for dimensions, materials, and the temple layout, including the Holy of Holies. Solomon imported cedar wood from Lebanon, which was renowned for its durability and fragrance. He also used gold, silver, bronze, and precious stones for decoration and fittings. Solomon recruited the workforce from the Israelites and also employed foreign workers, which included skilled craftsmen, laborers, and architects. The first Jerusalem temple, also known as Solomon's, was built on Mount Moriah, on the spot where God created Adam. The same location where Abraham was said to have nearly sacrificed Isaac. The construction started in the 4th year of Solomon's reign and took about 7 years to complete. Solomon utilized the wealth accumulated by his father and his own prosperous reign to fund the construction. He also levied taxes. The temple was a rectangular building with 3 units: an outer courtyard, the Ulam, porch, the Heikel, sanctuary for worship, the holy place, and the Debir, the innermost chamber, the Holy of Holies, which contained sacred items such as the Ark of the Covenant. It was built from masterfully quarried stone blocks from nearby mountains, with a roof and interior lined with lavish wood planks. Solomon used pure gold to overlay the temple's holy inner sanctum, where he also placed a pair of 15-foot-tall gold cherubims, sphinxes, to guard the Ark of the Covenant. The floor of the temple was of fir, there were palm trees, and flowers, which were all overlaid with gold. The doorposts, of olive wood, supported folding doors of fir. Olive wood was used in the doors of the Holy of Holies. The grandeur of the temple reflected the glory of God and the power of the Israelite kingdom. There was a main hall, a larger area for worship, decorated with gold and intricate designs. The temple was the focal point of the local religion, where priests made offerings to Yahweh. Levites and priests performed rituals and maintained the temple. Solomon's temple was a central religious and civic site in ancient Israel. It was destroyed by the Babylonians about 400 years later. The Jewish people were taken captive to Babylon for refusing to pay taxes to Babylon. After 70 years, the second temple was built on the same site as the first temple after the Babylonian exile. Herod the Great undertook a massive renovation and expansion project of the second temple into a magnificent structure. He created a magnificent structure to rival other great temples, leading to its reputation as one of the wonders of the ancient world, thereby showcasing his power and wealth. By undertaking such a grand project, Herod aimed to gain favor with the Jewish population and strengthen his own legitimacy as king, especially since he was of Idumean descent, an ancient region located south of the Dead Sea in Palestine and not fully accepted by all Jews. This included a larger platform, grand entrances, and an impressive facade. It was constructed of stone and marble with gold embellishments. The outer courtyard allowed access for all, including Gentiles, whereas the inner courtyard was restricted to Jewish worshippers. The Holy of Holies was similar to the first temple, but the Ark was absent. Jewish tradition says it disappeared when the Babylonians sacked Jerusalem. There was a continuation of the practice of sacrifices, but also saw the development of new rituals, such as the morning and evening sacrifices, and an increased emphasis on prayer and study. The priestly functions evolved, and by the end of the Second Temple period, the Sadducees became a prominent priestly group. They were the predominant members of the Sanhedrin, the Jewish governing council in Jerusalem, and collected taxes. The period saw the rise of additional literature and the emphasis on Torah study. The Second Temple was destroyed by the Romans as a result of the First Jewish-Roman War, which was triggered by a Jewish revolt against Roman rule, 420 years after it was constructed. The Roman governor of Judea confiscated money from the Great Temple in Jerusalem, claiming it was taxes owed to the emperor. This led to anti-taxation protests. The Western Wall, a remnant of the Second Temple, remains a significant site for Jewish prayer and pilgrimage. It attracts millions of visitors and worshippers each year. Jesus was presented for dedication at the temple when he was a baby. These temples played a vital role in the history and identity of the Jewish people. They were seen as the fulfillment of God's promise to dwell among his people. Major Jewish festivals, such as Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot, involved pilgrimage to the temple, fostering communal identity and religious observance. It represented the idea of a sacred space where heaven and earth meet. The destruction of the temple shifted these practices toward prayer and study. Its destruction and the longing for rebuilding highlight themes of loss and hope. The construction of the Third Temple in Jerusalem is a topic of significant religious, political, and theological debate. Many religious believers hold that the Third Temple will be built as a part of a divine prophecy and will happen in God's timing, beyond human control or planning. If you are a Christian, your body is a temple, God's temple. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.